The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast that feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, that's the route down known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on their light. Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast that feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, that's the route down known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is going on, YouTube? It is good to see you beautiful people. We got a lot to go over tonight. We're going to be talking about Austin Drummond. Okay, he had court today. We're going to be talking about Jaden Spicer, little boy that is missing, Spicer, sorry, that is missing out of Jackson, Kentucky. Also, the case that I was covering last night, Sean Boer. Now, crazy information coming out, plus more. So if you're here for some true crime tonight, you're in the right place, okay? But first, I'm going to need you to leave your DNA all over that like button, just in case something crazy happens to you and Dolly got to track you down like a bloodhound. I'm going to need your DNA on file. Also, if you're brand new, we're like 200 people away from hitting 74,000 subscribers. Okay, now I can't do it without the help of each and every one of you guys out there watching. So if you're watching and you haven't yet, sub up the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, feel free to share my ugly face, and I'm talking about this one right here that you're looking at, on any social media platform you choose, long as it's not Pornhub, okay? Unless you put it in the ugly category, then you're good to go. All right, let me give my warnings because we're going to be talking about a lot of different things and people tonight that are involved in crimes. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos, okay? So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people, completely satire. The caller's opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone's innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. And the biggest one of them all is never try to be Dolly at home. It is dangerous, and I am not responsible. If you break every one of the 10 commandments, do not break that rule. Never try to be me, okay? Never try to be me. So, you know, last night I was covering police shooting. We went live to the scene and we were covering a police shooting where a man was wanted by the name of Sean Boer. Okay. So this morning, Sean Boer was arrested for murdering his girlfriend. He shot her in the head and shot 2 police officers, one in the hand, one in the back here in Chesapeake, Virginia. Okay, so right down the street is Portsmouth, Virginia. They called him at his mother's house for that case that y'all seen me covering live the other night. They called him at his mother's house. All right, here's the problem. When he was escaping from the police, he cut his arm. Okay, so they transported him to a hospital. And when he got to the hospital, all of a sudden, he died. Okay, he died at the hospital this morning. Just crazy medical reasons. He just died. Okay. Medical emergency is what the police said. He got to the hospital because he had some cuts on his arm from jumping out the window, and he just died. So Sean Boer is also deceased. Now, did the police beat him? They're opening an investigation here in Chesapeake on this crime. Okay, I don't have it in the title of the video, but I said it's going to be what we're up in the title and more tonight. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. And they only give you so many words in the title. Jumping on the Dolly and PJ Blessed Express. Gopher, thank you so much for getting. You ain't blessed unless you on the Express tonight. So that criminal, we don't have to worry about him going to court. Karma, I think, got him. Okay, karma got him, and he was only 39 years old. So I don't know if he knew he was going to prison forever and had a heart attack, or the police beat him with billy clubs before he got, but he died at the hospital. So whatever medical emergency he had while he was at the hospital in Portsmouth, Virginia, at a hospital called Maryview. Here in Virginia, we call that Murder View. No lie. That is what the hospital is called, Murder View. They send you there to die. Everybody that goes to that hospital ends up dead. And crazy ending to that story that we covered live last night. We were there at the shooting of the police officers and the woman who lost her life. Not good. Not good. What a crazy story that was. So that's the end of that. No more Sean Boer. He has left this planet along with the person he unalived, and like I said, they called him at his mother's house in Portsmouth, Virginia today. And I told PJ when we were leaving, I said, right now, they're probably issuing warrants to go search his mother and father's house and any of his friends. And sure enough, by morning time, they had him in custody, and something went horribly wrong for a 39-year-old man just to drop dead. But he had a bunch of different domestic violence charges. He had, and this is something me and PJ were talking about. What good does that piece of paper, that protective order paper, really do when somebody wants to hurt you? Really not much of nothing, And we got to take these DV situations very, very seriously. And if any of my viewers are watching, I know a lot of us are older and we're kind of past all that craziness in our life or being around crazy people. But if you get in a relationship with somebody's even mentally abusive, you need to immediately get out of that relationship and get away from that person, because we see how a lot of these DV situations end. They end tragically. Okay, so if you have a loved one that's in that situation, just try to give them some advice to definitely get out. Freak a green bean. Okay, what's up, Tiffany? Good to see you, baby girl. But like I said, he is deceased. Now we go into Austin Drummond. Austin Drummond is the man that committed the horrible crime, or allegedly committed the horrible crime of quadruple murder in Jackson, Tennessee. Okay, Jackson, Tennessee, where they found 4 people on the side of the road, brutally shot. One of them was a 15-year-old boy. Okay, and also about 20 miles down the street, somebody dropped off a baby, which we know now was Austin Drummond. He actually dropped the baby off and hit the horn. He wanted somebody to find this baby, And then he didn't take off till he seen somebody come out allegedly. So he went out his way to protect his baby while he hurt everybody else. You know, when this was first going on, the manhunt lasted 1 week. We seen 3 people arrested and somebody was talking. Okay. And there may be a motive of why he killed these people. Well, in this event, when Fatty Fox, the God, was pulled over, it appears that his buddy had snitched on him and said he was the driver and part of this drug ring. And all these people were being named, and Austin didn't want these people to testify against him. So he may have shot them to keep them from testifying in his court date that was coming up in the middle of August, right? He had court in just like 2 weeks for, you know, the attempting to unalive someone inside the prison system, cooking with Big Daddy. So today, a lot of these people were in court. So was Austin Drummond. Okay. And he had a crazy request. He had a crazy, crazy request for the judge. He did speak. And instead of telling you, we're just going to take a little listen to what happened in court today. Let me share the screen with you guys. Let's blow this up. Let's do it.
Before we get started, I appreciate everybody taking the time to come a little earlier. This is a sort of a busy day. I appreciate Judge Hayes giving us the courtroom for this, for the arraignment. Before we get started, I just want to kind of go over a couple of things, okay? I know we had people here from the family in this case, and folks in the media as well. Everybody here, I appreciate all of you being here. I just want to say to everyone here, if you please could just do a couple of things for me, okay? I know I just want to make you aware there's going to be some things that are read today. These are allegations at this time, and there's going to be some things that are read out that are going to be pleasant to hear. There's going to be some things discussed that are going to be difficult to hear. But if you would, just please try to
I have no sound whatsoever. Okay, give me 1 second. Now the court sound is very low.
keep the courtroom in order. I'm going to do my best to do that. All I ask is for you to do the same. If there is an outburst of any type, I will have to ask our deputies to have you escort to the courtroom. If there are further outbursts, then contempt of court may be issued. Last thing I want to see happen. Okay, but y'all just work with me. Okay.
I'm sure it'll get louder. He just said if there's any outbursts in the court, he will hold people in contempt. And I have the closed captions on. Yeah, he is facing the death penalty. Well, they ain't saying nothing right now. Give them a minute. Make sure y'all hit the like on this video if you're just coming in. And once you do, make sure you shout out where you're watching from. Don't cheat. Like the video first, and then in the chat, shout out where you're watching from. They're just getting ready for court now, so you haven't missed anything. I can hear them whispering. We got 445 likes. Thank you so much for liking the video. We got 900 people, almost 1,000 people in the room. So y'all definitely hit the like, guys. Well, the courts haven't said anything. Hold on. I'll turn my microphone down a little bit for you guys. That should be better. Now I shouldn't be so loud. Is that sound better for you? Yes, it is. Okay. Well, there's no sound in the court because they're not saying nothing yet. They're getting ready. Sound is fine. Thanks, Dolly. The judge is asking to use somebody else's laptop to talk to him.
Give me 1 second.
It is just really low, guys. That's as loud as it goes.
So we're ready.
Yeah, Austin's been doing a little bit of talking. because this is just the arraignment. I will not be getting Fatty Fox, nothing. I went over that in the beginning of my video. Yes, they called him and he died. They didn't kill him. He died of a medical emergency at the hospital. But they did catch the guy from last night. He's already, Fatty Fox is bailed out of one jail and he's in another jail right now. He's going to end up bailing out. Fatty Fox apparently had some money. He's awaiting another bond here in another county. He bonded out of this county. He had a $75,000 bond and he bonded out. So he had previous charges in a neighboring county. So they sent Fatty Fox to the neighboring county. If he gets a bond there tomorrow, he'll be out of jail. Yeah, they got the guy from last night that killed his girlfriend, but he mysteriously died at the hospital. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It kicked me slam out the room. Let me fix this. They called him at his mother's house. He went to his mom's house, and they arrested him. He had cut his arm jumping out the window, and he escaped. No, he jumped out his arm, cut his arm, and escaped. But they arrested him at his mom's house. They took him to the hospital. He had a medical emergency in the hospital. He passed away. Sean Boer, Boker is no longer with him. So he will never stand trial. But we got to remember, Fatty Fox is a husband. So he paid the bond in this county. Y'all can't hear me good, guys? It's muffled. All right, I'm going to try to turn up a little bit. All right, I'm going to try to go out and come back in. No, your sound is bad. All right, let me try this, guys. Let me do this. Okay, is my sound better? Is my sound better now? I'm just trying to get everything back working good. Video sound blows. I'm trying to get my sound not muffled. Yes, my sound is better. Better. Okay. All right. Now let's share the video. We need to hurry up and get them out there. Yeah. Out here. All right, here we go.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Mr. Drummond, we are here this morning to arraign you on these charges. It's my responsibility to notify you of them and what you were charged with. First charge this morning that you have before the court is one count of first-degree murder. It's alleged that on 29th of July, Mr. Braydon Williams was located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville in Lake County, Tennessee. In the course of the investigation, it was determined that Mr. Drummond did with premeditation, knowingly and intentionally kill Mr. Braydon Keith Williams with the use of a firearm. It's alleged he did commit this offense also while being in possession of a firearm after being convicted of a felony, being aggravated robbery in Madison County, Tennessee. He has one count, therefore, first-degree murder and unlawful possession of a firearm. Second charge you have, sir, is first-degree murder, one other count of unlawful possession of a firearm. It's alleged during the course of investigation that a James Wilson was located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds in Lake County, Tennessee on Carrington Road. It was determined that you with premeditation knowingly and intentionally killed Mr. Wilson with the use of a firearm. It's also alleged, based on the same facts or circumstances, that you are a convicted felon out of Madison County. In addition to that, sir, you also have one count of first-degree murder and unlawful possession of a weapon. It's alleged that you, during the course of investigation, officers determined that Mr. Drummond, with premeditation, knowingly and intentionally killed Miss Adrianna Williams in Lake County, Tennessee, on Carrington Road. She was discovered from an apparent gunshot wound, deceased. In addition to that, he also is a convicted felon out of Madison County, Tennessee. You also, sir, have one count of first-degree murder and additional unlawful possession of a weapon. It's alleged during the course of the investigation, officers determined that you did with premeditation knowingly, intentionally kill Miss Cortney Rose with the use of a firearm. She was discovered deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Lake County, Tennessee. It's alleged, in addition to that, sir, as I previously stated, you are a convicted felon allegedly from the county of Madison in Tennessee. Just that we have been charged. I don't have anything.
Crystal, yes, they did. And he died at the hospital.
Sorry about that, Mr. Drummond. In addition to that, finally, he has one count.
Yes, the parents have made a statement.
In a possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. It's alleged that all convicted mentioned were located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on the same date. A minor child with the date of birth 12/12/2024 with the initials WW was discovered left in the front of a residence in Dyer County, Tennessee. States that Mr. Drummond committed the offense of aggravated kidnapping by false imprisonment, which was committed to facilitate the commission of a felony or flight. It's alleged he committed this offense also possessing a firearm during the commission of said dangerous felony when he possessed a firearm. He therefore has those counts. General Goodman, is the state moving forward with felony charges in this matter? Yes, Your Honor, we are. Mr. Drummond, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you at this time on your behalf, being that you did not have counsel appointed or retained to represent you. Are you going to be able to hire an attorney, sir, to represent you, or will you need me to ask you questions about your finances to appoint you an attorney?
I'm not going to be able to hire an attorney.
Okay. Sir, if you could, to the best of your ability, please raise your right hand for me.
He can't hire an attorney.
Swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give is true, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down, sir. Mr. Drummond, prior to being taken in on these charges, sir, were you working anywhere?
I had a business, let it run business, kids parties, restaurant shows, decorations, stuff like that.
So you were self-employed, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I want to pause it right there. Did y'all hear what he said? He said he has a business where he entertains kids' parties. Okay? That is insane. Who would let this man around their kids? He just got out of prison for robbery, aggravated robbery, and kidnapping. And this man literally said he was self-employed, that he entertained kids. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Like, who would let, he decorates parties and things like, where did he come up with that shit? He was no more than a drug dealer himself.
And this is what I'm going to ask you, sir. Obviously, that may vary depending on.
He must have been a clown.
How much business you generate monthly. If you could estimate for me what your monthly income would be from that business.
It was in there, but it was not more than $6,000.
Okay. Okay.
It's a lot of it. I was just starting up. A lot of the money went right back in to investing in the
When did you start the business, sir?
I started LLC in February. I believe I started operations just a month or two ago.
Just a month or two ago? Okay. Sir, let me ask you, do you own a home? Do you own a vehicle? I'm sorry?
I do in cities right now.
Okay. Can you tell me the make and model of the vehicle, sir?
Cadillac for
Okay. You recall how much you paid for that vehicle?
$12,000.
Okay. Are you still, are you making payments on the vehicle?
No, sir.
Do you have a checking or savings account, sir?
Yes.
You know roughly at this moment how much is in that checking or savings account?
$500.
Gerald, I think due to the sort of the uncertainty of his business, I think that based on that and the fact he doesn't own much personal property, I think he does qualify as indigent for appointment of counsel. I have reached out previously to Mr. Brian Huffman out of Covington, and he's told me he is willing to take the appointment in this case. So what I'm going to do is appoint Mr. Brian Huffman.
Closed captions on the screen.
Drummond in this case. Mr. Drummond, Mr. Brian Huffman is an attorney in Covington, Tennessee. He is going to be appointed in this case to represent you, sir. We're going to get his contact information to you, and also we're going to get his information for where to contact him and locate him and be able to discuss your case with him. We'll be happy to get that to you, and we're going to send you his files and we're going to send your files to his office for him to review that. Okay. General, does the state wish to be heard on bond at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, the state intends to seek the death penalty. This is a capital case. We're asking that he be held without bond.
State's asking to hold him with no bond.
Circuit Court, we have filed motions for both those bonds that will be heard later in the month of August.
this information is not correct, sir, please just tell me if it is not, okay? Can you still hear me okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 16 O'Neill Oakway, Apartment E in Jackson. Is that a good address for you, sir?
Not anymore. 54 Harmony Lane, Jackson, Tennessee, 38001.
Okay. How long have you lived at that address, sir?
54 Harmony Lane, or 16 O'Neill.
I'll make it easier. How long have you lived in the city of Jackson?
Since I was released in September of last year.
Okay. Before you were incarcerated on your previous charge, where were you living at?
630 Road, Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay, so for the majority of your life, have you lived in Jackson, Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any family in Lake County, Tennessee?
You got to remember, you're innocent to proven guilty.
I'm not going to ask him questions about whether he's a prior convicted felon. I obviously don't want him to incriminate himself for that purpose. Folks, in the state of Tennessee, bond is a guaranteed right, with the exception of one incident. When it is a capital offense, and when the proof is evident or it's great. Based on the affidavits I have read here today, it does appear that the purposes of bond, in addition to not only what the statute says, but first and foremost, that it's the court's responsibility to take into consideration the safety posed to the community. The court finds that the defendant will be held without bond, and he'll be remanded into the custody of the
No bond.
Department, pending all appearances and hearings in this matter.
Let me address one other issue.
Yes, sir.
The state is also requesting a restraining order, not just as a condition of bond, but as a restraining order, besides that, and that would be for the family of victims, Cortney Rose, Adrianna Williams, Braydon Williams, and Jaden.
Mr. Drummond, let me go over with you, sir, what the general has said.
I'm sorry, and also the minor child, WW, minor child.
Yes, sir. I was going to include that, General, but I appreciate you mentioning that. Mr. Drummond, what I'm going to do is, this is something that obviously you do not have this in front of you at the moment. I'm going to be sending to you in a moment through one of our deputies to the jail. We're going to be sending you a form called Notice of Bond Conditions. What that's going to tell you is that you have bond conditions that you must follow. Obviously, if you are incarcerated, you will not be out on bond. But if you were to be granted bond at a later date, then these bond conditions would apply. But your bond conditions are you have no contact with any of the family members of the victims in this matter, the alleged victims in this matter, Ms. Cortney Rose, Ms. Adrianna Williams, Braydon Williams, and Matthew Wilson. In addition to that, sir, you cannot possess a firearm under any circumstances, and you cannot have any contact as well with the minor child that's alleged to be involved in this incident. The court is also going to put a condition down that you must keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Brian Huffman. In addition to that, sir, the court is going to issue restraining orders separate from your bond conditions that state you must not have any contact with these victims at all throughout the entire cause of action. The court is going to send those over to you. You'll be served a copy of those. I told Mr. Huffman I did not discuss the possibility. I wanted to wait until he's officially appointed. If your office would like for me to go ahead and set another appearance date before the preliminary hearing, I'm fine to do that. What's the state?
Yeah, we set the others for August 14th. We'd like to keep all these together and set that date possible.
Mr. Drummond, I'm going to continue your case to August the 14th, sir, at 9 a.m.
August 14, he'll be back in court.
We'll be in contact with you prior to that to go over your case, and he will be able to hopefully answer any questions that he has for you, sir, okay? Or that you have for him. I apologize. We will see you back here then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Can I
sir.
ask a question?
As long as it's not related to the facts of your case or anything that could infringe on your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is now the time I need to ask for a quick speedy trial, or how's that work?
Well, now that I've appointed you counsel, any motions that will be filed will go through your attorney, sir.
A quick and speedy trial.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right, folks, the case is continued to August 14th at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
August 14th for all the co-defendants too. Okay, let me give you all a little breakdown of what just happened there. Okay, he didn't have counsel. So they had to put in an innocent plea form, okay, because he didn't have no counsel to represent him. So he's pled innocent. He's being held with no bond. There are orders of protection in place that if he does get a bond at a later time, which he will not get a bond, but just in case some miracle happens and he was able to bond out, which would never happen, he has these restrictions on him. And these restrictions even apply to him in jail. So he can't be calling them because, you know, he does have the right to use the phone, which I don't think he should. You know, being a murderer, I think when you're a murderer, they should treat you like a murderer. So they gave him a court-appointed lawyer because he couldn't afford counsel. He said that he had a business where he entertained kids. All right, because I know the volume was really low. I'm going to try to pull up a news channel and see if they adjusted the volume anywhere. This was the live feed of it, and a lot of these courts ain't prepared for YouTubers to share the videos, you know, so they're not quite made for everybody to hear like it was, you know, a live stream. Okay, it just ain't like that. So we tried to jack the audio up as high as we could get it. It's just terrible. But he entertained kids and decorated parties. Some may say he was a clown. I don't know. Court TV was over slightly better. Only slightly better. Okay. So I don't know who would let him, you know, somebody that's been already just out of prison, a convict, around their kids, or hire this person to decorate parties. Could you see this man decorating parties? I think that's a shell company. Can a felon even start a LLC? I don't know. We're just working on our LLC. I'm just waiting to get it back now. Dolly Vision Media Group LLC. So we went completely legal here and started our LLC, and I'm just waiting for my accountant to get back with me with the paperwork, right? I don't know if he can. I think anybody that pays taxes can start a LLC. I don't think it has anything to do with you being a felon or not. It has to do with starting a business and paying company taxes is basically what the LLC is. And of course, you know, for liability reasons, insurance reasons, and things like that, you would start a LLC. Right? Like say you decorated a party and the kid got hurt, you would have to have insurance for your business. It goes into all that stuff. Okay. Plus if you make a certain amount of money, you set up an S corp, some of that money goes into the corporation. So you don't have to pay as much in taxes, right? Because if not, you pay all that money as sole proprietor in taxes. Okay. And if you set up a corporation, and you set it up as an S corp, you pay yourself, okay? And then you only pay 15% taxes on your self-pay. So it could save you thousands in taxes if you own a corporation, okay? Because there's all these tax breaks for corporations that that you don't get without it, okay? That goes into a whole nother thing. My accountant people explained all that to me when they were like, you need to set up an LLC and you need to do this. It'll save you in taxes. And any savings is, you know, when you're saving money, that's less money you spending. Dolly Vision LLC is about to employ me. Yes. You're going to be paying taxes on the money I give my kid. Okay. It's going to come with a 1099 at the end of the year. Tiff's going to be like, I thought you were just giving me this money. I'd be like, nope, you got to pay taxes on that, kid. Okay. Great explanation of a S corp. Yes. So if you don't know about that, it's just, you know, corporations pay less in taxes than the average person does. And so if you're going to start a business, it's best to have a corporation, an LLC, and set it up to where when you're making money, you're paying yourself payroll instead of taking in the money yourself, because you can put that money into the corporation and then you don't have to pay taxes on it. You only have to pay taxes on what you paid yourself. Now, I ain't no accountant. I just know the basics of it. When, I had to pay tax and they were like, look, you're paying way too much in taxes. If you did this and you did this, you would pay less in taxes. So I think, I don't know what it is, business that they had, but it all has to do with laundering drug money. Okay. This money has to come from somewhere that you got. Okay. You can't just go put $20,000 in the bank and not have no job, because the IRS is going to be like, well, where'd you get this money from? Did you pay taxes on this money? Some cloud, thank you. Right. They're going to be, you got to have some way to show where you get this money. And then, you get into money laundering, you start a business, and then you say, well, I made this money into business. And then you pay taxes on that drug money, and then you turn that money into clean money. Right. And it's just, because him and his friends, they're nothing more than drug dealers. I mean, as simple as that. And yeah, I don't know how he would have started a business. And, is that he had $500 in the bank, and, that he asked the judge a question. He said, can I ask a question? And, banks have to report any deposit over $10,000 or any withdrawal over $10,000. Okay. So if you withdraw over $10,000 from the bank, the IRS is going to want to know what you're doing with that money. It's crazy, right? So they, the government tracks your money. I just said I was making the soap. Just making the soap. Okay. I can hardly ever even get you to package it. So some way he basically said that he's asking for a quick and speedy trial. And the reason he wants a quick and speedy trial is, I can tell you this, because jail is doing harder time than prison. Prison is easier than jail. A lot of people don't believe that, but it is. You have no freedom in jail. Right now in jail, he's probably locked down 23-1, which means he only gets out an hour a day to make phone calls in the shower. That's it. He has no interaction with any people. He's in a one-man cell. Okay. No TV, no nothing. You're looking at 4 walls every day. And the court system will take a year before they convict him. So he's in a cell by himself every day for the next year. And some people can go crazy in that amount of time. Jail is way worse. Listen, so I've been to jail, right? And people that have prison time in jail, they're ready to go to prison. Matter of fact, there was one guy that I knew escaped from our city jail. He broke out. They used to let you go outside into this little fenced-in area, and he took some bed sheets and he broke the fence. He wet the bed sheets, and believe it or not, when you wet a bed sheet, it makes the material really strong. And he was able to pry the fence up with 2 pieces of bed sheet. And he escaped, and he was on the run for like 2 weeks. So and while he was on the run, they locked down the whole jail. So nobody could do anything. Nobody could go to the gym. Nobody could do nothing. And everybody was praying he would get caught. That's crazy. You would think criminals would want you to get away, but he made life in the jail so bad for everybody else that they wanted him caught. So he was on the run for 2 weeks, and they caught him. And the news asked him, why did you escape from the jail? So here's the crazy thing. A lot of these jails are not jails anymore. You know how you have your city jail? It's not. It's a correctional facility. It's all in the name. It's all in the name. Like it used to be where we're at, the Chesapeake City Jail. Now it's the Chesapeake Correctional Facility. So the difference is a city jail can only hold you up to a year, and they got to send you to prison. Okay. A correctional facility can hold you for 5 years in the jail. All right. Where you have no freedom. You don't go outside. You can't work. You can't go to school. None of those things. Right. And they can hold you for 5 years. The dude that escaped told the media, he said, the reason I escaped was they wouldn't send me to prison. I've been in the city jail for 4 years. And he wanted to go to prison. So when they called him, of course, you know, they didn't want him in a jail because he was a high risk of escaping. They sent him to prison where he wanted to go. But they also gave him 10 more years. And he was already serving 17 years, all right, for like burglary and robbery and things like that. So he ended up getting 27 years. He got 10 years tacked on for running. And so I was a trustee in the jail because I went to jail for a bar fight. And it misdemeanor charges, nothing, right? And I used to work in the kitchen. And there was a deputy. I can't even make this up. There's a back door to the jail, right? And every now and then I would get to go outside and take the trash out. It's fenced in. But not like security fenced in. It's like, you know, barbed wire, but low level barbed wire. But he would open the back door and he'd be like, you want to run? You want to run? Right? He goes, you're getting 10 years. You get 10 years. And anybody that's on trustee is about to get out. Nobody's really going to run, right? So he would tease all the time. You want to run? You want to run? And he would open the door, right? So all you really had to, and he was a big, fat, old guy. Really, if you wanted to run, all you had to do was bow him in the head and run, and you'd have been out. But the problem with that is you're getting 10 years and you're going to prison if you do it. And you can't be on trustee as like a felon or have any bad things. You know what I'm saying? So test you out, but he would do it playing. And I was thinking one day you're going to do that and somebody's going to run, right? Somebody's actually going to run and you ain't going to have a job anymore. No, I only did like 3 months. I was sentenced to 6 months, but I only did 3 of it because on misdemeanors, you do half time. On felonies, you do 75%, right? So if you get a felony, you do 75% of your time. If you have a misdemeanor charge, say you get 6 months in jail, you get, you got to do half time. So you do 3 months. And then if you get on trustee, they take time off your sentence too. And you don't have to pay rent because you got to pay rent in jail. Where I was at, it was $1.50 a day. Okay. It was $1.50 a day. And if you work on trustee, you don't have to pay rent. So basically you work in the kitchen all day, 12 hours, 12-hour shifts. I mean, they work you too. Like it's like working in a damn assembly line, and it's 12-hour days and they pay you $1.50 your rent. So you don't owe any rent. That's it. That's all you get. And then they shave time off. So if you do, I think every 30 days you do in trustee, they take off a week. Right. So I ended up doing, I did 30 days. They took off 2 weeks of my time. So I did technically 2.5 months in the jail. Okay. Which don't sound like much until you in there. Okay. Because time in jail don't move. Like you look at the clock, say you'll look at it, it'll say 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Right. I swear you can feel like 5 hours later, you look at the clock and it says 1:05 p.m. Time just almost damn near staying still. And it really sucks. So a lot of those people in there, like I said, you don't have the same rights as DOC inmates. And so people want to go to prison. I know that sounds crazy. Like I met so many people in jail that was like, man, I'm just waiting to go to prison. I hope they come get me today. I hope they come get me. And you would think you wouldn't want to go to prison, right? You know, jail, that they think jail is the worst thing ever. So this is the same reason he's asking right now for a quick and speedy trial, because the longer this trial goes on, he can't go to prison. He has to sit in the jail because they don't transfer you from prison to court. You have to be in the jail to go to court. Okay. And like I said, he's high profile. He's a murderer. He's locked down in Supermax 23-1. Now, when I did my 2.5 months, this is the crazy part. I'll share a story with you. They have, when you get locked down, most of the time when you're in jail, you're in a pod, almost like a big dorm kind of thing. Like if you was in an army barracks, jail is set up sort of like that. If you're a low level criminal, right? Like you're in there for fighting, you didn't pay your child support, you got a DUI, let's just say you were caught with some sticky icky before it was legal, you know, just little petty crimes. They lock you down in low level because they do it by levels, what your crimes are, right? So it sucks. It really, really sucks. But you can go get you something to drink, right? They'll bring in a cooler and it'll have some like lemonade without sugar in it, or some tea without, nothing ever has sugar in it, because you know sugar is a luxury. But you can buy sugar on the canteen. So you can go down there and get some dirt water, is what I used to call it, anytime you want. But when you're in the Supermax, you can't do that. So you don't have nothing to drink. You don't have, everything's brought to you. So trustees are the ones that bring you everything. So when I worked in the kitchen, I ended up getting a job as the juice man. Okay. Well, and you think that's great, but the juice man don't have to work 12 hours a day. Okay. And you're in trustee, you got a TV, personal bathrooms, because you know, when you're in jail, you got to use the bathroom in front of everybody. If you got to do a number 2, you got to take a number 2 in front of 100 people. It sucks, right? But in trustee, you got private bathrooms with doors like you would have in a gym room, like, you know, doors. So that's one of the perks. And you got private showers. So you're not showering with 50 dudes, right? So I ended up getting a job as the juice man. And what this does as a juice man, you got to go around and you got to give people juice. Now, the problem with that is it's the worst people in the jail, because if you're locked down, you're bad. Okay. That means for some reason you're either a killer, a murderer. Well, that's both same thing, killer, murder, but you know, the big R word, or you're like some big drug dealer that's about to go to prison for 20 years or something like that. So there was this guy named New York, I guess, because he was from New York, and he was the juice man. And I guess he went to go give somebody juice, and they took a cup of pee and threw it on him. Okay. So he throws because they got in these big jug things, that the juice. So he goes back there and throws the whole thing of juice on the guy, and they fired him as the juice man. Okay. So I was like, okay, if I can not work 12 hours in the kitchen and still get my time shaved off, I want to take the juice man job. But with that, you got to deal with the worst people in the jail. Let me tell you this. When people go to jail, they don't stop breaking the law. They're robbing people. They're extorting people. They're still doing criminal activity inside the jail, just amongst each other. All right. So even though I was low level, you know, top floor is what they call it, penthouse in the jail, because there's no doors. You ain't really locked down. You're just in like a army barracks. Right. And when you become a trustee, the bad inmates call you junior deputy. Like you a bitch, you the deputy's bitch, right? Basically, right? So they call you junior deputy. So, but I had to go around and fill up these people's juice around the jail. And there was one block, it was called a T block, and it was really bad. Everybody was in there, was waiting to go to prison to serve at least 20 years and up. I'm talking about for robberies, murders, the big R word, just terrible stuff, right? DP firing squad happening right after sentence, and that would be great. So I end up getting a juice job. And so basically in the morning, I got to walk around the jail, give everybody juice that can't get juice, right? Then I can go back to the cell and the pod and watch TV, right? Because everybody's in the kitchen for 12 hours. So then you got the TV to yourself. It's quiet. You know, you can go take a shower, you know, do whatever you got to do. It's a lot less people. And then at lunchtime, you go around and you fill up everybody's juice again. And then at dinner time, you go around and fill up everybody's juice. So the people that are in lockdown 23 and 1, the only person they see is the juice guy. That's it. So everyone wants to talk to you because they haven't talked to nobody but the wall all day, right? And I've seen some people that were crazy. And I mean crazy, like unexplainable crazy. Like I'm talking about rubbing stuff on the walls, and I don't even want to say what they were rubbing on the walls, and just nasty, crazy, talking to themselves, licking the floor. I mean, just some things you couldn't even imagine. And it will definitely make you look at the world a little bit different. And like, you're like, whoa. So, but anyway, long story short was the T block is some bad people, right? It's some really bad people in there. And in the beginning, I didn't know. I didn't really know. I didn't know who I was dealing with. You know, I'm just going around giving juice. Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? What's up? You know, and I give this dude some juice, and he's probably going to prison with 20 years for killing somebody, right? And he's like, yo, let me get another cup of juice. And I was like, look, let me get everybody. And if I got some more juice left over, I'll give it to you, because I got to make sure I got enough juice for everybody in there, right? You know, just fair to people, you know, here, make sure everybody gets some. And then if I got some extra, I'll give it some to it. And this dude looks at me and he goes, MF, wait till I see you in the pen. And I'm thinking to myself, I ain't going to the pen. If I was going to the pen, I wouldn't be a trustee and I wouldn't be pouring this juice for you. I'm about to get out of jail in like a week, right? You know what I'm saying? So I look at this dude just as serious as I could and kind of laughed and said, man, I ain't going to the pen, right? And he goes, that's okay, MFer. Wait till I see you on the street. And I said, what, in 20 years when you get out the pen? And this is where it set people off, right? And here's the thing, there's a set of bars between us. So I'm not in the room with them. I'm outside the bars. Okay, so there's a set of bars between me and these people that I just looked at and laughed and said, I ain't going to prison. They didn't find that funny. Okay, they didn't find it funny at all. And the dude goes, that's okay, because I'll tear up what they call the runway. Like they'll throw food out there. And it's my job to clean up, to mop the runways too. Okay, so if I got to go in there and sweep it and mop it, it's my job to do that as the juice man. And this dude said, that's all right. I'll tear up the runway. And I looked at him, I said, and I guarantee you this, you will have the driest mouth in the jail. Right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, you won't get shit to drink up in here. And then they just started raging. They were coming up to the cell, right? And to make it worse, to make it completely worse, is their TV is on the outside of the bars, right? And what they do is they take these pieces of paper and they roll them up like a straw, and they make them real long with tape, so they can reach out the bars and turn the TV up or down or change the channel on the TV. All right, and nobody goes in there but the juice guy. That's it. And to bring trays, but I didn't bring trays. I just brought the juice. So when they threatened me, I turned around and unplugged the TV and walked out the cell. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was getting death threats. Wait till we see you. I mean, it was like massive. It spread through the jail like wildfire. We're the trustee, right? And people were coming up to me going, Jimmy, you really unplugged the TV? And I was like, yeah, right? Don't threaten me. You know what I'm saying? I tried to tell us, like, I'm not in here for being a nice guy, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm in here for fighting in the bar, right? Do I look nice? Right? Do I look nice? And then, you know, people are like, look, man, you got to take it serious. You know, we know you ain't in the cell with them, but what if you go to court and they're in the holding pods with you or something like that, and now you got these dudes wanting to stab you and you know, do all this stuff, right? But anyway, it got so bad of me, like I would hit them last, so I go through the whole jail, and then very last I would take them their juice. And I had a dude that worked under me, this guy named Mike, and I'd make Mike go in there and take it to him, right? He was like a drug dealer guy, right? He was in there for like selling sticky icky or something, and I'd make him go in there. So they were just getting their drinks late in the morning time. They get their drink around 10 o'clock, and they usually get it around 6 in the morning, right? So they're getting their shit like 4 hours late for lunch, for breakfast, for the longest time, because I wasn't going in there. So as soon as Mike got there, I'd be like, all right, let's take it to T block. You know what I'm saying? You go deal with these people that want to stab me. You know what I'm saying? And so eventually, this is where it gets crazy. This is a jailhouse story. I'm just about to get out, right? And I'm standing outside a T block, and Mike goes in there and takes him to drink. And I probably got a few days left, right? And Mike comes out and goes, Jimmy, man, they want to talk to you, right? They just want you to come to the door. You know, at the door, they can't get me because there's a set of bars and there's about 4 foot between the door and the bars. And I was like, what do they want? They were like, man, they just want to talk to you. And I was like, I don't want to talk to them. You know what I'm saying, I ain't got shit to say to them people, right? He's like, just come to the door. They want to talk to you. And I was like, all right. So I go to the door. I pop my head in, and they're all standing along the bars. There's like, I think there's like 14 people in a cell, right? They're all standing on the door. As soon as I step in, they go, hey, man, we just want to tell you we're sorry. And I was like, what? The last thing I expected to hear, right? The last thing I expected to hear, they were like, look, we were just messing with you. We didn't know you was going to get so mad and so angry. You know, he goes, but man, we've been getting our drinks like ain't no ice. Everything's melted by the time we get it. We just want to say, man, we were just effing with you and we sorry. And they were all like, yeah, man, we sorry, man. Why don't you just, instead of having Mike, why don't you bring it to us in the morning like you used to? And I was like, are y'all going to act right? They were like, yeah. And I was like, all right. Shut the door. But these murderers, right? These robbers actually apologized to me, right? Sorry, white boy. You know what I'm saying? We sorry, junior deputy. And I was just like, I can't believe this. But I still really, because I was about to get out, I never went back in there, to be truthful. I was like, oh, no, you ain't stab me. So maybe one day when some of these dudes get out of prison, I might be in a little bit of trouble if they still remember that. But, you know, who's going to hold a grudge for the next 20 years? I'm hoping not anyway. It's been a while. I ain't been in trouble in like 15, 16 years. So they're about due to get out. I might need to hide. Okay. If I come up missing, just remember it was the people from T Block. Okay. Only the Lord can make that happen. True story. All right. True story. They got 15. I mean, I don't know how long they got. You know, just know that was the block you stayed in if you was waiting to go to prison. Okay. If you was waiting to go to prison, that's where you stayed. You would be amazed at what they hold on to. You know, Juice Lord. Yeah. I was like the Juice Lord, you know, so, and you know, they didn't get no ice because if you don't get your drink last, the ice melts because they give you these big plastic things and jail. It sucked, but it was just to shave time off because if you're on trustee, they shave time off. Now, of course, he won't be able to do that. That's how I know he's locked down by himself because of his charges, you know, and he's hating life and he wants to go to prison. So good for him. I hope every day is miserable and he still has more rights than the people he killed. You know, he unalived 4 people. Like when I looked at that cell of the people that were in there for all these horrible crimes, I didn't care about them dudes. I was like, you get what you get. You better be happy I walk in here, you know? But then again, you know, you don't want to get, there has been people that have been brutally beat in that jail. Like when I mean brutally beat, I mean almost beat to death. There have been 2 young kids that were put in there at 16 and they were brutally R-word in the city jail. The city jail, it's kind of bad. It depends where you're at in it, you know, and of course there's gangs. Well, not full blown, like there's people from gangs, but the gangs don't really run the city jail here. Now, in a lot of places, gangs run the jail, but just not here where I'm at. If I was maybe Richmond or more towards DC, like Fredericksburg, stuff like that, more the gangs run those jails. So shouldn't have appeals. I hear stories like that. Well, he's hating life. He's definitely hating life. And, you know, it appears the motive was gangs run the jails where you're at. Richmond, yes. Yeah, it depends where you're at. What part of it. This is more, I don't know. It just, gangs run Norfolk jail. Just where I'm at, they don't. You know, they just don't run the jail. I mean, they're in there. You know, there's different gangs in there, people from gangs, and they kind of click up, but they don't really oversee the jail. But usually there's what they call a pod boss. Like it's probably they call them juggernauts in the jail, which means they're like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the dude so big you couldn't whip their ass if you had 10 people with you. They usually run the pods. So whatever goes on in the pod, they're the ones to be the boss of everything, right? And because like in the jail they got, what is it, juggernauts, alligators, and fish. Fish is like the alligators are trying to attack you, right, or bully you or take stuff from you, and the juggernauts, they rule everything. Okay, so basically your alligators are like predators, you know, sharks, and yeah, I don't feel bad for them though. You know, a alligator attack anybody. You know, they're just crazy people. You know, and the sharks are people that are out to rob you, extort you, things like that. And then the juggernauts run it. So if they want something done, it happens. You know, if they want the TV, they control the TV. So that's usually how it kind of goes down. They're usually called pod bosses, but a lot of people call them juggernauts because it's always the biggest, baddest dude, you know, the alpha that runs the jail pods. Anyway, enough about that loser because his time is coming, and I'm sure we'll be talking about him on the 14th when he makes his first appearance in court, which is a preliminary hearing, which ain't even his trial. So that's just the preliminary, is to set up his trial for the 4 counts of murder. And of course, he's facing the death penalty, but he's so used to prison. And lately, they don't want to execute anybody. Let's be honest. They don't want to execute nobody. So basically what they're doing is they're taking pleas, right? They're taking pleas. About to call him. What's up, Tiffany? They got a ad in a jail in a different county because he snitched. Now I lost track of what I was going to talk about. Okay, let me play this. Let me see if it plays louder real fast.
Now we want to take you live to the first
Firearm. It's alleged during the course of investigation.
Oh yeah, you can hear this on the news. Hold on, let me play this so y'all can actually hear what was said.
right now in a courtroom. There's also 4 other people that have been arrested in this case and have been charged with helping, aiding, and abetting Drummond there. And you can see him there. Now we're going to take you live to the scene.
This morning that you have before the court is 1 count of first-degree murder. It's alleged that on 29th of July, Mr. Braydon Williams was located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville in Lake County, Tennessee. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that Mr. Drummond did with premeditation knowingly and intentionally kill Mr. Braydon Keith Williams with the use of a firearm. It's alleged he did commit this offense also while being in possession of a firearm after being convicted of a felony, being aggravated robbery in Madison County, Tennessee. He has 1 count, therefore, of first-degree murder and unlawful possession of a firearm. Second charge you have, sir, is first-degree murder and 1 other count of unlawful possession of a firearm. It's alleged during the course of investigation that a James Wilson was located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds in Lake County, Tennessee on Carrington Road. It was determined that you with premeditation knowingly and intentionally killed Mr. Wilson with the use of a firearm. It's also alleged, based on the same facts or circumstances, that you are a convicted felon out of Madison County. In addition to that, sir, you also have 1 count of first-degree murder and unlawful possession of a weapon. It's alleged that you, during the course of investigation, officers determined that Mr. Drummond, with premeditation, knowingly and intentionally killed Miss Adrianna Williams in Lake County, Tennessee, on Carrington Road. She was discovered from an apparent gunshot wound, deceased. In addition to that, he also is a convicted felon out of Madison County, Tennessee. You also, sir, have one count of first-degree murder and an additional unlawful possession of a weapon. It's alleged during the course of the investigation, officers determined that you did with premeditation knowingly, intentionally kill Miss Courtney Rose with the use of a firearm. She was discovered deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Lake County, Tennessee. It's alleged, in addition to that, sir, as previously stated, you are a convicted felon allegedly from the county of Madison in Tennessee. It's just that we have the other charge. I don't have anything to do with that. Never mind. Sorry about that, Mr. Drummond. In addition to that, finally, he has one count of aggravated kidnapping and a possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. It's alleged that all of the victims in the case that previously were mentioned were located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on the same date. A minor child with the date of birth 12/12/2024 with the initials WW was discovered left in the front of a residence in Dyer County, Tennessee. States that Mr. Drummond committed the offense of aggravated kidnapping by false imprisonment, which was committed to facilitate the commission of a felony or flight. It's alleged he committed this offense also possessing a firearm during the commission of said dangerous felony. When he possessed a firearm, he therefore has those counts. General Goodman, is the state moving forward with felony charges in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Mr. Drummond, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you at this time on your behalf, being that you did not have counsel appointed or retained to represent you. Are you going to be able to hire an attorney, sir, to represent you, or will you need me to ask you questions about your finances to appoint you an attorney?
I'm not going to be able to hire.
Okay. Sir, if you could, to the best of your ability, please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give is true, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down, sir. Mr. Drummond, prior to being taken in on these charges, sir, were you working anywhere?
I had a business, inflatable run business, kids parties, restaurant shows, decorations, stuff like that.
So you were self-employed, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is what I'm going to ask you, sir. Obviously, that may vary depending on how much business you generate monthly. If you could estimate for me what your monthly income would be from that business?
It varied, but it was around $4,000 to $6,000.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, a lot of it, I was just starting up, a lot of the money to run right back in to invest in.
When did you start the business, sir?
I started in February. I believe I started operations just a month or two ago.
Just a month or two ago? Okay. Sir, let me ask you, do you own a home? Do you own a vehicle? I'm sorry?
I do, it seems right now.
Okay. Can you tell me the make and model of the vehicle, sir?
And county laid for
Okay. You recall how much you paid for that vehicle?
$12,000.
Okay. Are you still, are you making payments on the vehicle?
No, sir.
Do you have a checking or savings account, sir?
Yes.
Do you know roughly at this moment how much is in that checking or savings account?
$1,200.
Couple $100.
General, I think due to the sort of uncertainty of his business, I think that based on that and the fact he doesn't own much personal property, I think he does qualify as indigent for appointment to council. I have reached out previously to Mr. Brian Huffman out of Covington, and he has told me he is willing to take the appointment in this case. So what I'm going to do is appoint Mr. Brian Huffman to represent Mr. Drummond in this case. Mr. Drummond, Mr. Brian Huffman is an attorney in Covington, Tennessee. He is going to be appointed in this case to represent you, sir. We're going to get his contact information to you, and also we're going to get his information for where to contact him and locate him and be able to discuss your case with him. We'll be happy to get that to you, and we're going to send you his files we're going to send your files to his office for him to review that. Okay. General, does the state wish to be heard on bond at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, the state intends to seek the death penalty. This is a capital case. We're asking that he be held without bond. In addition to that, he has a bond out of circuit court. We have filed motions to revoke those bonds.
Good night, Jeff.
Will be heard later in the month of August in circuit court.
Mr. Drummond, what I'm going to do before I make a position on bond, I'm going to ask you some questions, sir. And if this information is not correct, sir, please just tell me if it is not, okay? Can you still hear me okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 16 O'Neill Oakway, Apartment E in Jackson. Is that a good address for you, sir?
981, 54 Armory Lane, Jackson, Tennessee, 38001.
Okay. How long have you lived at that address, sir?
54 Armory Lane, 16 O'Neill.
I'll make it easier. How long have you lived in the city of Jackson?
Since I was released in September of last year.
Okay. Before you were incarcerated on your previous charge, where were you living at?
630 Road, Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay, so for the majority of your life, have you lived in Jackson, Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any family in Lake County, Tennessee?
Us.
I'm not going to ask him questions about whether he's a prior convicted felon. I obviously don't want him to incriminate himself for that purpose. Folks,
Hamburglar.
Tennessee, bond is a guaranteed right, with the exception of one incident when it is a capital offense and when the proof is evident or it's great. Based on the affidavits I've read here today, it does appear that for purposes of bond, in addition to not only what the statute says, but first and foremost, that it's the court's responsibility to take into consideration the safety posed to the community. The court finds that the defendant will be held without bond, and he'll be remanded into the custody of the Lake County Sheriff's Department, pending all appearances and hearings in this matter.
Your Honor, may I address one other issue?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the state is also requesting a restraining order, not just as a condition of bond, but as a restraining order besides that. And that would be for the family of victims, Cortney Rose, Adrianna Williams, Braydon Williams, and Jaden Williams.
Mr. Drummond, let me go over with you, sir, what the general has said.
I'm sorry, and also the minor child, WW, who was the minor child.
Yes, sir. I was going to include that, General, but I appreciate you mentioning that. Mr. Drummond, what I'm going to do is, this is something that obviously you do not have this in front of you at the moment. I'm going to be sending to you in a moment through one of our deputies to the jail. We're going to be sending you a form called Notice of Bond Conditions. What that's going to tell you is that you have bond conditions that you must follow. Obviously, if you are incarcerated, you will not be out on bond. But if you were to be granted bond at a later date, then these bond conditions would apply. But your bond conditions are: you have no contact with any of the family members of the victims in this matter, the alleged victims in this matter, Miss Cortney Rose, Miss Adrianna Williams, Braydon Williams, and Matthew Wilson.
Yes.
In addition to that, sir, you cannot possess a firearm under any circumstances, and you cannot have any contact as well with the minor child that's alleged to be involved in this incident. The court is also going to put a condition down that you must keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Brian Huffman. In addition to that, sir, the court is going to issue restraining orders separate from your bond conditions that state you must not have any contact with these victims at all throughout the entire cause of action. The court is going to send those over to you. You will be served a copy of those. I told Mr. Huffman I did not discuss the possibility. I wanted to wait until he's officially appointed. If your office would like for me to go ahead and set another appearance date before the preliminary hearing, I'm fine to do that, General. What's the state's
Yeah, we
position?
set the others for August 14th. We'd like to keep all these together and set that date if possible.
Okay. Mr. Drummond, I'm going to continue your case to August the 14th, sir, at 9 a.m. Mr. Huffman will be in contact with you prior to that to go over your case. and he will be able to hopefully answer any questions that he has for you, sir, okay? Or that you have for him. I apologize. We will see you back here then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Can I
sir.
ask a question?
As long as it's not related to the facts of your case or anything that could infringe on your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is now the time I need to ask for a quick speech trial, or how's that work?
Well, now that I've appointed you counsel, any motions that will be filed will go through your attorney, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, folks, case is continued to August 14th at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Marie, thank you.
We are going to also take
A boost and a cocktail.
Mr. Powell, I believe. I was told that they're going to bring him over, so you folks.
Okay.
Okay. So that video you could hear a lot better than the one that we was listening to. And I know the family spoke out today. I don't know if I can find that video of wait a minute. Here it is.
Free at 5. First at 5 on your news leader. After an extensive manhunt lasting nearly a week, Austin Drummond is in custody and facing a judge today. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Hurst. Stephanie is off tonight. Drummond is accused of killing 4 members of a Dyer County family last Tuesday. He's being held in the Obion County jail, but appeared this morning in Lake County for arraignment. As we find WRG's Mike Sirianni live with reaction. Mike, fill us in.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Greg. Yes, it was a hectic morning here at the Lake County Courthouse where Austin Drummond was arraigned in connection with those 4 deaths. And the parents of one of the victims say they want Drummond to pay for what he's done.
It's just a really bad situation that we're in here. And it's just, we know that we're going to get justice for our kids, for this whole family.
Thursday morning, Kim Hamill's struggling to find the words after watching Austin Drummond appear in a video arraignment at the Lake County Courthouse. Hamill's son, 21-year-old James Matthew Wilson, was one of 4 victims allegedly shot and killed by Drummond.
Matthew was a good father.
He was a good boy.
He was a good brother. He was a damn good son.
Drummond, being housed in Obion County, arrived in Tiptonville just after 7 a.m. with an armed escort and sat in striped prison garb while Judge Andrew Cook read charges against him.
First charge this morning that you have before the court is 1 count of first-degree murder.
In all, Drummond faces 4 counts of first-degree murder, as well as aggravated kidnapping, abandonment, and felony possession of a firearm. He's charged with shooting to death Wilson, Adrianna Williams, 20, Courtney Rose, 38, and Braydon Williams, 15. Drummond allegedly dropped off the 7-month-old baby of Wilson and Williams in a yard in Dyer County the day the 4 victims were found dead in Lake County. An extensive search.
The affidavit says that he was worried about them testifying on him for doing the drops into prison is why he unalived these people. That's what the affidavit says. Now, I haven't had a chance. PJ was reading some of it to me earlier. We were kind of busy today, so we was running around, and she was kind of telling me the rundown of everything that was happening and what they believed the motive to be. But he believed these people were going to tell on him. They were going to snitch. So he had this court date coming up, and I guess he didn't want these people to testify against him, and he unalived them. What a monster. What a monster loser this guy is.
For Drummond ended Tuesday in Jackson, Tennessee, where he was taken into custody without incident. Thursday morning, Drummond was denied bond, and District Attorney Danny Goodman plans to move forward.
Well, I'm pleased with the judge's decision. We are going to seek the death penalty in this case.
Yes, he snitched on Powell. He is a snitch. His days of being in a gang, the vice lords, are over. He's a snitch. He was working with the police before I don't get it. He's telling on people and unaliving people. He's just like, I don't know.
So that was the reason for asking for no bond, and I'm pleased that he did that.
we're gonna be here every chance we get. We're gonna be right here for our son because he cannot be here.
That's just a tragic situation. Now, this morning, the judge appointed Covington attorney Brian Huffman of the Huffman Mason law firm to represent Austin Drummond. I reached out to that law firm, but they did not want to comment. Drummond is scheduled to be back in court here, and I'm sure we'll be here too. Reporting live from Lake County for your news leader, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, he's unaliving people for thinking they're going to snitch when he's snitching on people. So make it make sense. But that was Pal Ninja, according. Yes, that's the hardest white boy he ever met. That white boy was telling slam on you, right? And well, you know, Fatty Fox, he had a $75,000 bond. He's bonded out of one jail, but he has charges in another county. So they sent him to the other county. So when he gets there, he'll have a bond here and there, and he may end up getting out. He gets that hug money, you know? So somebody connected to him has some money, and he may end up out on the street. But his time is coming. When he goes to court, he's going to go to prison. So paranoia as the walls came in. Which one, Pal? Yes. He got money. That's why. Yeah. He got, because he's the supplier of the hugs, right? He's the plug. It's what people would call him on the street. He's the plug. And these people were associated with him. And probably he was dropping it to him when he was in the prison. And then when he got out, he started helping them. Pal is Big Daddy. Yes. Big Daddy, Fatty Fox, the God, to be exact, right? So crazy situation to be in. And, you know, the parents, they just want justice, the family, and of course, Matthew's family. There was no reason for this to happen. But we also learned that a family member that knew about this drug ring told about the drop. Okay, knew these locations. They had certain locations they went to, and this was one of them. And one of the family members, it don't say which family member talked, but I believe it was Caitlin trying to protect herself. And Caitlin told these locations, and they were able to find the bodies. So there's been a few people talking in this case. And you know what they say, the first one to talk is the first one to walk. And I think the first person to talk was Caitlin. I think she started talking, knew she was over her head, and she gave it all up. Do you know how he got them all to the woods? That's not quite sure. He lured them to the woods somehow, but I'm not quite sure how he lured them. If it was, you know, to say, hey, we got this job to do, and they showed up, and just what it's believed that Adrianna just happened to be there. They showed up, right? I don't think she was a part of this, you know. And I guess, you know, Matthew showed up because they were there. I think the people that were involved was Courtney Rose, right? And the brother, the 15-year-old. I think these people were involved, and the other two just happened to be there. And they're more victims of circumstance, wrong place at the wrong time kind of situation. But listen, there's no reason for these people to be unalived. And I didn't get why he thought they would testify. If he's snitching on his people, why did he think these people were going to testify against him? But listen, some people have crazy paranoias and things like that. And maybe this is a situation of this. Now, this next case that I want to talk about, you know, is a missing kid out of Jackson, Kentucky, right? Jayden. Let me show this little picture of this little boy so y'all can see what he looks like. And he is missing. Now, to me, this is Sebastian 2.0. Let me pull this picture. Where's this picture? Right here. This has a really bad Sebastian Rogers vibe to me. Okay. Let me show you guys this picture. He's 10 years old. He's missing out of Jackson, Kentucky. He was last seen at his home and he was wearing Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas. Okay. And he just vanished. Now, his mother today, I haven't read the letter. If anybody got it, they can send it to my Facebook. Wrote a letter, right? Talking about the disappearance of a kid, but she hasn't came on the news and she don't want to be identified. What the hell is going on with that? Does anybody find that suspicious other than me? And this kid still hasn't been found. EquiSearch has been out there searching for him. The letter is weird. Mama Angie says, I haven't read the letter. If anybody has the letter, my producer's in bed. I'm sure I can find. Let me search it, and I'm sure I can find it real quick. Give me 1 second. Let's see. I see other YouTubers that have it. Let's see. Missing 10-year-old Kentucky. Did we got anything from the news? All right. Let me see if I can just find the letter. Okay, I don't have the letter. Let's see what YouTubers have did a story on it that are respectable. All right, this one's from 14 hours ago, 10 hours ago. Definitely not that loser. All right. All right, let's see what it says.
Breaking news, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So 10-year-old Jaden Spicer has been missing from his home in Kentucky.
Okay, the audio we're listening to is from Daphne's, let's see, Daphne's case files. Okay. And I think she has this letter.
Since Tuesday at 9 o'clock off Pan Bowl Branch Road in Jackson, Kentucky. And the area is very rural, as you can tell by the maps here in front of you. He still has not been found. I have an update for you that just came out a few minutes ago that we're going to play for you in just a second. But I want to show you the letter that his mother supposedly wrote to go to the reporters. Now, I haven't seen an actual statement from her live or anything, just this letter. So there's not too much information out other than he's still missing. So let's read the letter. So I guess this is the mother's writing. It says, we love Jaden and we want him safe at home. Please, if anybody see my son, Jaden Spicer, please report it to the Jackson Police Department. Thank you. We love him very much. Please do the right thing. Call the police. Please pray for, I'm thinking she meant to say us, and my son, Jaden. Thank you.
Okay. So that's the letter. It looks like she wrote that shit in crayon. Okay. This is a mixture of Sebastian Rogers and Candace Wells wrote that letter. Okay. I don't know what to even say about that hooked on. Like, I don't know. She should have got on a sweet pickle bus or something when she was a kid. That is just crazy. But does that throw out red flags to anybody other than me? Because, listen, I'm into true crime, so I think everybody is guilty. You know, his mother don't seem like the brightest woman in the book. Okay, nothing. She could be a sweet lady. I don't know, but her writing looked like it was done by a fifth grader or maybe a third grader. It looks like damn Jayden wrote that. Okay, so definitely red flags. Like, why would you write a letter and not have somebody like look at the grammar or, you know, like oversee it before you give it to the news so you don't sound like you're. Why don't you use Chat GPT like everybody else? I mean, good Lord. I mean, we got AI these days. Like you AI would have wrote a better summary of what was going on than that. Dear guardians of this child, keep Tony Mathis away from this. Oh, this guy's Tony Mathis written all over it. This is in Kentucky, in Jackson, right? And the little boy is 10 years old and he vanishes from his home in his pajamas. The last people to see him is his parents. I don't know, guys. I see another Sebastian Rogers. A little Sebastian Rogers is what I see. And this is one of these cases where we don't see the family out here pleading and begging or I ain't seen nothing about them putting search parties together. No TTT. Absolutely. Right. This is I don't know what to say. This is a new one for me. So so far my vibes have not been good. Like the Dolly radar is kind of like, when I heard the letter, you know, that the mother wrote a letter, but didn't come out and speak with the news and she didn't want to be identified. I was thinking, it's bad, Dolly. Mom has a rap sheet. EquiSearch is the only ones looking. 1202, not welcome. Why would you be searching, yelling for him? Why wouldn't you be searching and yelling for him? I agree. This is not a good situation. Just from the, looking out, looking in. And, I've had a lot of experience with kids going missing. I've been covering this for the last 4 years. When the first big red flag is when the parents are not acting normal. All right. Now I don't want to blame anybody because I don't know all the circumstances. I just know he was at home 9 o'clock that morning. He vanishes. Mom is 33, history of violence. Okay. Mom is 33, history of violence. Dolly, look at the area the baby is from. It's betting they don't even have a good internet connection. You did? I could see that they were from a rural area from the video that the Daphne girl put out. And, I got a brief summary of what was going on yesterday. And of course, I put his picture out because, that's the least we could do is try to get his information out there just in case he did somehow get out the house or somebody's grabbed this kid. But when, things like this happen, you expect that the parents are going to act a certain way. And then when you see that they're not acting like that, you're like, oh shit. And mom just got him after grandmother passing away. Yeah, this is not good. It do take long. We all grew up watching 48 Hours and so on. Man, why would they be out there not making sense? Maybe he was trying to get away from her. Dolly, what makes me sad is did he have medical issues also? Was he another little autistic child? That the problem with that is these autistic child sometimes do run, the mom crew will have 10 light videos tomorrow at 7. Clutch these nuts to be overlaying photos, right? They'd be overlaying photos. These people, man, some of these YouTubers, I just don't, y'all guys are funny. Oh, that's too good. That was a good one for me. That's the best comment of the night. All right. I almost want to give you something. Oh, I'll be laughing about that one later. When PJ wakes up, I'm going to tell her about that. Okay. Photo war, right? That was funny. That was funny, right? Poor Sebastian Rogers, right? Listen, continue to pray for that little boy. And listen, we ain't seeing no justice in any of these cases. You know, Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lily in Nova Scotia. I haven't forgot about them as beautiful little kids. It just hasn't been a lot in the case, but drama and no real news, right? Same thing with Sebastian. Sebastian's done went colder than a damn block of ice, right? Seth ain't even talking about him anymore, right? I thought that's why he made the YouTube channel, like to give weekly updates on what was going on, but there really hasn't been nothing going on. But my first thing is this: when you ain't searching for your kid, do you really care? And I mean, I don't just mean like get on the internet and say, oh, my kid's missing. I mean, really searching for your kid or your loved one, or you out there grinding, not giving up, don't quit kind of thing. And I understand, you know, you got bills to pay, right? Seth ain't a rich guy, and I get it. But like, I thought that's why he started the YouTube channel, you know, not to rain on Seth. I'm not trying to be mean. I just like, what happened? You know, what happened with all this? Like, everybody just overnight was just like, all right, later, Sebastian, peace. See you around. I mean, he already got Joe dirted, and just like, I think a lot of people, when the circus started, and when I mean circus, I mean like Dog the Bounty Hunter and, you know, the whole intelligence agency that were like some ex-convicts. I think once all that started happening, people were like, and they started trying to sue people that were talking about Sebastian. They destroyed any chance of like the internet wanting to have anything to do with helping and finding Sebastian Rogers. Poor kid. Now the only people talking about it is a couple nut jobs out here, right? And when I mean nut jobs, I mean nut jobs. So it's like, did they help the case? They didn't. Sebastian, long gone. And I don't believe that, you know, trigger warning, guys, trigger warning. I don't believe Sebastian was with us 2 days after he went missing, or even 1 day after he went missing. I don't think he was with us. And we're never going to see no arrest in this case. It ain't nothing coming. Because if they, you know, unless a hunter or a hiker or somebody out there on a 4-wheeler trail, you know, stumbles across Sebastian's bones, it sucks to say it, right? There won't be answers for this child. And it's just like Summer Wells, right? What has it been, 4 years? Over 4 years in the Summer Wells case. Just nothing. You know, and that's the bad thing about these rural areas. If you did this in the city, your kid just vanished, your ass going to jail. All right. You don't get away with it in the city. But in these rural areas, when people go missing, and this is what scares me. Little Jayden here is in a rural area in Kentucky. That's not much different than Tennessee. There's so many places to hide a body or bury somebody in these places that you'll never find them. There ain't so much in the city. You start digging a hole in the city, somebody gonna know, right? Areas are a lot of people. The bullhorn is turning on Seth. Oh, well, I could told you that. Who is that? A shocker? And damn, Olivia married the damn Idaho 4 boy. That was a shocker. I was like, holy shit. You know, Olivia's a sweet girl, but she did that video the other night. And I had to say, it was a little tiny bit cringe. Okay. It was a little tiny bit cringe. And I was like, oh, this, you know, but you know, Olivia's really a good chick, nice person, kind hearted and stuff. And to see the video was like, I thought the video was going to be about their love story, about them, her meeting them. And it was a little bit about that, but then she started interviewing the brother about Maddie. And then that's when it got a little weird. I was like, okay, Olivia, this is a little weird. Like, I'm cool that you met your love person and you're happy. But when you started talking to him about his family, like that was weird. That was weird to me. I don't know. Anybody else see that video find it weird, or was it just me? Right. And apparently they've started a channel, Chronicles of the Conclaves. Is that how you say their last name? Olivia is the one that shoots all the documentaries. She was the one that interviewed the family, the dad, Steve, but she ended up hooking up with Maddie's brother, and they got married, and I think they're having a baby, right? But they start talking about how they fell in love, and then it goes into an interview about what type of person she married, the brother from the Idaho 4. It blew my mind too, right? It blew my mind. I was thinking, what the hell? What the hell is going on? They look happy together. I mean, I'm happy for her, right? And it's weird sometimes how you meet your soulmates, right? But I was just like, this is weird, right? And it wasn't weird at first. Like it was like, oh, I'm glad for Olivia because I think she's a really sweet, nice person. She probably never needed to hang out with Betty, right? But she's a nice person, and I think pretty genuine and just a sweet girl. And then when I seen the video, I was like, this is a little weird. It's a little weird. Which I think it was Maddie's brother. I think she married Maddie. Ain't Maddie the Conclave girl? I know I'm probably murdering her name. Kaylee. That's it. She married Kaylee's brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was Kaylee's brother. She married one of them's brothers, Steve the Conclaves. She married one of the, if I'm saying Kaylee. Okay, well, thank you guys, Kaylee. She married his brother. Okay, it's Maddie Mogan. Okay, yeah, you're right, and it's Kaylee. And she put out a video, and it didn't have a lot of plays. I mean, it probably had 25, 30,000 plays. And I was watching it, and like I said, I just wanted to hear about it. I thought it was going to be a happy love story, and it started off that way. It started off like, we met, like, talking about the case, and we were talking on the phone, and then we were doing like 11-hour Zoom calls together. Dolly, she stated not married or pregnant. I thought she married him. I mean, there's pictures of him kissing her belly like she's pregnant. It gets a little weird. Like, I don't know. I found it really like, what the hell is going on right here? And is that on YouTube? Yeah, it's on YouTube. I heard she was married yesterday also. I thought she was married. Ziggy married Fred. Okay, that is weird too. Okay, that is weird. I don't know what is with these people that like I don't know. I guess true crime brought me and PJ together. It's Conclaves. Okay, is that how you say it? I mean, true crime brought me and PJ together. Well, technically, private investigating school, because I was trying to go and PJ was enrolled, and I was going to go to the one in Richmond, and she told me there was one here that I didn't have to go to Richmond and that I could join her. So we started talking about private investigating school, and then that led into our relationship. So, I mean, I can understand true crime bringing you together, like, because you have the same interests, but that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different. And PJ wasn't grieving during a traumatic event. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, the video's out there, and it deals with, I couldn't remember which one it was, if it was Maddie or Kaylee. I just knew it was a family member of the Idaho 4. And I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, back to what we were talking about, how I got on that. When somebody said something about Bullhorn Betty, I guess I don't know. But turning on Seth, that's one of those things, like, they were doing so much like behind the scenes stuff, right? They were doing so much behind the scenes stuff, that wasn't right. And they're, beefing with people and talking shit about people. You got to remember at one time they were plotting on taking my channel down, right? TikTok, Seth, and all these people were plotting on taking me out the game, reporting the channel or doing whatever. I don't know what plot they had, but I know that they had a hit list and I was on that hit list. So it's very easy to mistake a great friend to a partner in a time of trauma. That's not cool. I didn't know that, Dolly. So yeah, they were doing all kind of snaky stuff behind the scenes. You see what they're trying to sue people and involving people that were criminals is where it got me. Like that's when I really just turned on Seth. I was like, okay, because I'll give you a mistake or two. You're a parent, you're going through something traumatic, and you're like, you don't realize you want help and you mistrust the wrong people, right? Sometimes it happens. I've had people around me that wasn't around me for their best interest, and I didn't see it at first. So I give them that mistake, right? I give you one. I give you two. But when you surround yourself with bad people that are criminals and scammers, the reason you do that is because birds of the same feather flock together. And that's when I just was just like, okay, this whole, me even trying to help Seth or give him any advice, I can't do it. And this case right here with little Jayden, it sounds so much like the Sebastian Rogers case already. You got a mother that's, I don't know. Why won't she get on camera and beg and plead for people to come help her find her kid or anything like that? She wrote a half-assed letter with bad grammar. It looked like I wrote it, okay? It looked like something Dolly wrote. Shit misspelled and all kinds of stuff, right? I think I could have did a better job, to be honest, but and not out here pleading for her kid. The same thing we see with Jack and Lily with I didn't forgot the mama's name. Malaya Brooks, same thing. Not out here asking for help. We don't see nobody putting search parties together. Is there even a reward yet for this child? Like that type of stuff, right? Now this isn't my stomping grounds of, I would have to see what else is happening in this case before I go, volunteer my efforts to go down there and start the search. Right now, EquiSearch is searching, but they're only going to search so long, right? And then they kind of just like, all right, we're out. So how long is the search going to go on for little Jayden before they call off the search? That's the bad things, is, they only, especially these rural areas, they only have so much budget for their police departments, these small towns and stuff like that. And they don't really have the resources to really search like I think they should. Now, I don't know if there's any water or anything like lakes or anything like that around. Could he swim? What more the circumstances? Of course, I'll have my PI dig into this stuff, but we've been really busy the last few days. So we ain't had a lot of time. Like we were running around doing stuff all day today. That's why I was so late getting here today. And my sleep schedule is way off. I slept all day today because I was up late last night watching Wednesday on Netflix. They got a new season of Wednesday. You're probably thinking, Dolly, why the hell? I don't know why I watch it. I watched the first season, so now I'm on season 2. I'm kind of hooked. It's almost like a kid show, but I always liked the Addams Family, so now I'm kind of hooked on Wednesday on Netflix. Trauma bonds. Also, what kills me is where the community around there should step up because they're any not have the resources. All right. And poor PJ got 4 hours sleep. Yeah, she's asleep now. She went to bed as soon as we got in today. She has been out car shopping, right? Because she's been wanting a new car for a while, and she's been looking and trying to find something. And because she's been driving my old beater, and the AC sucks, so she's been wanting to shop for cars. And PJ works her ass off, so I went with her today and yesterday. So we've been running around doing things like that. My twins love Wednesday. They are 10. Well, I have the mentality of a 10-year-old. I'm a big kid at heart. Maybe that's why I watch it. I don't know. You tried to watch the Idaho 4 on Amazon and you were in tears immediately. I mean, it's a sad situation. What kind of car does PJ like? I don't know. We looked at a bunch of different things. We're looking for used cars, of course. We ain't big balling like that. Even PJ ain't. She works a full-time job constantly. I don't know. She's just looking for something reliable with good AC. I think the good AC is the selling point because she's been driving a Dolly mobile. Okay. And the AC kind of works when it wants to work, and then it don't. And when it works, it ain't even that great. And Virginia, it's pretty damn hot here, and it's like it's on its last leg. I mean, it still runs. It's never left us stranded, but it's on its last leg. It's like drinking oil. It got a radiator leak. It's constantly having to check the fluids in it, and so it's on its last leg. But I think the car has like 180,000 miles on it or something like that. I drove that car to death. I've drove that car all over the country. As a daily driver, I drove it a lot. And then I let PJ take it. And I've been driving my truck. So it's about time for her to find something new. So we've been out looking. I moved here from New York a couple months ago. There's a big difference. Hey, Turtle Gang. Hey. So, we've looked at some like Hondas. We looked at some Toyotas. We looked at some Kias, some Acuras. We looked at everything, but some of the things she was interested in were, some of those. Well, she didn't like the Kias, but she likes like Toyota, Honda, stuff like that. We didn't look at any Subarus. No sports cars. We're not, we ain't out racing, right? We ain't damn, what is that movie with the damn everybody races in? I can't even think of the movie. I'd stop watching them. Fast and the Furious. Okay. When we see a Fast and the Furious car ride by, we just kind of laugh. We're like, why people want them loud ass, raggedy ass cars? We want something like quiet and good on gas. We at that age, right? When we hear them little rice burning ass cars, we're just like, it's a kid. And when I see a grown ass man in one, I kind of just laugh to myself and be like, oh, I don't know what the hell you thinking. That's some shit a teenage kid should be driving. Toyota and Hondas will run forever if you take care of them. You want to get a car that will still get parts like Toyota, Honda, or Nissan. Go for a Tesla and get badge. I was talking about Teslas today, people that drive Teslas. You have to have a monkey if you drive a Tesla. The prices of Tesla, you could go out and buy you a brand new Corvette, a muscle car, right? Some with some balls. Why would you go drive a Tesla? Listen, I know there may be some people in here that own a Tesla, and I don't know if we could be friends. Okay, I just don't know if we could be friends. That is like, They should put rainbows on those cars. They should paint them rainbow colored. That is the I don't know. I need some gasoline. Stop. Yes, Hondas last forever. LOL. Get a diesel. Fuel is cheaper. What damn diesel cars do they make these days? I know Mercedes used to be diesel. George owns a Tesla. I know. You should talk to him about that. He could have bought him a badass Corvette, the price of that Tesla. And just one thing you won't see me driving ever, a Tesla. I would buy me an old school muscle car or something dope. Like, there's so many cool cars. And for people that sees people spend that much money on and another thing, I would forget to charge it. I don't even charge my damn cell phone. I guarantee wherever my cell phone is right now is dead. Hold on. Let me look. I got 58%. Damn. Damn. I'm doing good. I'm halfway charged. That's a miracle, right? That's the first time ever. Honda all the way. The Tesla trucks are so ugly that it's unreal. You're absolutely right. I don't know who would drive that, you know, and them Tesla cars, like even a low end one is like $50,000-$60,000. You can go out and get you a damn brand new Corvette for 70 grand. I mean, a low end Corvette. You ain't going to get like the Z5 or, you know, you ain't going to get the boss one for that, but you better have $160,000 or something like that. But you can get the low end one, you know. Still got power windows. You'd be good for about, you know, 75. I was looking at cars and, you know, they said, you know, you're pre-approved, and I ain't buying no car, but they sent me a bunch of pictures of different Corvettes. I was like, well, at least they know me. That's the algorithm right there. Right. So I was looking at the Corvettes that I was pre-qualified for. And I was like, no. I'm not paying for a car for the next 10 years. So I'm going to drive my beaters, and I'm good with that. I mean, I ain't really trying to impress nobody. So I don't need some flashy ass car that I'm going to be paying for till the time I die. I'd buy a house first. I'm a Chevy girl. Can't beat a Denali. Yeah, I drive Chevys. Everything I drive is Chevy. I got the GMC truck, which is basically a Chevy. I got a little Chevy car. They're the only ones that don't break down on me. I used to drive a Ford Mustang back in the day. I had a little Mustang, and it never really broke down on me either. It rode. It had some problems though, like the wheel fell off. It needed ball joints, and one of the damn wheels fell off of it. But other than that, it drove till the wheels fell off. You know how they say I'm going to drive it till the wheels fall off? I literally drove that Mustang till the wheels fell off. So, and then I got the little Chevy, and then of course I got my truck, and I got my old. I'm selling the vet I got. I've had that vet for like 15 years. So, and it ain't nothing but a money pit, to be honest. It's a classic now. So, I'm going to put it up for sale in the next, I don't know, in the next week or so. I had a Ford Edge, broken windshield, a little funky, good mileage. Okay. Yeah, I ain't big on Fords. Every Ford I ever had, except for that Mustang. Like I had a Ford Exploder, and that's what it did. It exploded. The engine blew up. The transmission fell out of it. That was the worst vehicle I ever owned. I don't know how we got on vehicles, but I got an AWD. My SUV was my mom's, and she passed it. I got it. It's a money pit unless you can work on your own car, and we work on mine, so it saves a little. Now, here's the thing. Old vehicles, you can work on, right? Like new vehicles, you got to work for NASA to fix a new vehicle. All right. That's just the truth. That's why I like older cars and older trucks. Like my GMC, I think it's a 2011 maybe. but you can work on it. My Chevy Cruze, the little car, is older too. You can work on that. Like I can go out there and fix little things on that car. Say it need a starter or alternator or battery or thermostat. I can go fix all that stuff on the car. Cars now, they're just big ass computers. You can't fix nothing on them. You better have $5,000 when you take it to the shop. It's just the way it is. So if you got anything new, maintenance costs are high because you just can't work on new cars. You got to have computers. You got to have a damn degree in college to work on new cars. You have a 2009 Mercury, never had a tune-up, runs like a champ. Okay, well, that's good. And then, of course, my daughter's car, it's been in 2 accidents in the last month. So we got to take her car and get it fixed. Somebody hit her coming back to Richmond, and they had like some shitty insurance. It's like some insurance company I've never even heard of. Like it ain't even like Liberty, Liberty. It's way low. Like I'm hoping they just cover the damage to my kid's car. And then, so we go up to Tiffany's work, me and PJ. We take her something to drink. She wanted an energy drink or something. And so we go up there, and because, PJ knows a lot about damaged vehicles. And I was showing her the damage on Tiffany's car. Okay, so we walked around the car, and I was like, this is where the guy hit it. And I'm showing her the rear fender. And it ain't bad. It's a little dent, right? But, she's paid a lot of money for this car, so we want it fixed. As soon as we leave, somebody backs into Tiffany's car, hits the whole fender, crushes the fender in. So now she can't even open the door of her car because it crushed in her fender. And so today we went and I had to go sit with her, go over to some of the insurance stuff, where to take the car to get estimates. And me and PJ was just there. We were just standing by the car looking at it, right? And it wasn't hit. So they had to hit it right after we left because Tiff got off shortly after that. And so it was within a 2-hour window, somebody backed into her car in a parking lot and crushed the whole damn fender in. And then took off. Didn't stop. I hope they have badass karma for the next year. I'm putting a voodoo hex on them. All right. What did Tiff's car do to him? I live in California. I pay $192 a month for full coverage. Does Tiff's car have bullseye painted on it somewhere? I don't know. Tiff told me she thinks she's been cursed. Okay. That kid is a trip, man. She is a trip. I don't know if she's in here, but she said to check to see if she had a curse on her. Right. I don't know if this is a TikTok thing. I don't know what they be teaching kids on the internet these days, but she took an egg and she cracked it and she put it in water. Right. And the way the yolk runs tells you if you have a voodoo curse on you or not. Right. So Tiff is sitting here telling me this, right? She might be getting mad at me for telling you guys, right? She already don't talk to her mom about nothing because her mom probably tells people, right? So she cracks it. But I had never heard any of y'all witches in here ever heard of that? I'm just kidding. I've never heard of that. We do the egg here too, Dolly. Do you? Nobody ever hit me to the egg. Okay, I don't know nothing about an egg and some voodoo and chicken feathers. I have no clue. When she was like, yeah, I just was checking to see if I was cursed, and I cracked this egg and I put it somewhere. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, kid? Yep, egg. Okay, y'all know about the egg thing. Okay, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I don't know. I'm not from New Orleans. I'm not part. I'm not part of y'all's voodoo club. I don't know. I truly don't. So what do you tell your kid when she thinks she has a voodoo curse on her? Right? Okay, well, I'll tell her. I said, okay, well, look, when you come over, we'll hit you with a little bit of sage. You know what I'm saying? We got some from when we went ghost hunting. We'll de-curse you. I don't. will put some feathers in your chicken feathers in your pocket and throw some salt over her shoulder. I don't know. I mean, I'm a little superstitious myself, but I ain't cracking eggs and seeing if I'm cursed. Okay. Yes, the egg works. Okay. Yes, the egg don't work. How the hell does y'all are crazy? Okay, y'all just as crazy as my kid. Eat the egg and curse is gone. Is that how you do it? Is that how you do it? Eat the egg? I eat eggs all the time for breakfast. I shouldn't have no curses on me, right? I usually scramble them with a little bit of cheese and put them on some toast. You back? Okay. I don't. Y'all buy into that stuff, right? Because I know a lot of y'all believe the psychics and what's the egg supposed to tell you one way or another? Yeah, it's supposed to tell you if you're cursed or not. Where that came from, I have no clue. It was the first I ever heard of it, right? She said it to me. She's like, yeah, I cracked the egg to see if I was cursed. But I mean, she's been having a little run of bad luck, you know, but listen, we know bad luck, bad stuff usually happens in threes. It's just the way it is, right? So 3 bad things happen. And so far she's been hit with 3 bad things. So maybe that's just, you know, it always comes in threes. And yes, they do. No, do the egg. I'm not doing no eggs. Okay. If I break an egg, it's to cook it. I make an omelet because Dolly got to eat. All right. So I don't know what all these people are doing with this weird, crazy hoodoo, voodoo stuff. Now you have to tell the egg story. That was it. That was it. She just called me and said I was checking to see if I was cursed. You know, and I was like, you ain't cursed. It's like, who would curse you? You know what I'm saying? You're young. Ain't nobody got a problem with you. And so why do you crack an egg into water? I don't get it. Listen, short legs, I don't get it either. But apparently the way the yolk moves or drains or whatever the hell the egg does in water, I don't know. I've never cracked an egg in the water. It tells you if you're cursed or not. I don't know if this is a TikTok thing. It has to be something on TikTok. That's all I can think of because Tiff is that TikTok age. She's 25 where they're all just hooked on TikTok like it's crazy. So, I mean, I don't know. I truly don't. It's not the yolk. It's the egg whites. Yeah, that's what she said. It's the egg whites that tell you if you're cursed or not. So everybody's going to go crack an egg tonight and try to see if they're cursed, ain't you? I know that's what's going to happen. Right? Like, why are you doing this? I was watching Dolly's show and he told me this would tell me if I was cursed or not. Eggs are too expensive to be using to look for curse. That's right, right? You could trade in 3 eggs for a bar of gold these days. I put egg in water in microwave and it pops out. You were cursed. What? No way. I only have 12, right? You can't be wasting eggs. I only got 4 eggs left, right? It's an egg cleansing. X. You rub the egg all over your body, that you crack it in the water. Okay. That is just let me look this up. Let me Google this, see what Google says. Google. Let's see what it says. Okay, egg cleansing, also known as omancy, is a practice in various traditions, including voodoo, to remove negative energy, curses, or the evil eye. It invokes passing a raw egg over a person's body and then cracking it into a glass of water to interpret the patterns formed by the yolk and whites. The interpretations can vary, but often involve identifying negative energy, curses, or spiritual blockages. What the hell? Y'all think I'm lying? I'll share this with y'all. I really I had to check that out. Right. This is what it says. Oh wait, it moved. Hold on. Shit. But anyway, y'all get the point. That is what it is. I'd never heard of it until she said it. I don't even know if she was serious or kidding with me, but probably with Tiff, she was probably serious. By an evil eye. I don't know what a damn evil eye is, all y'all voodoo people. Okay? I'm not into voodoo. What's the sign? Have you ever heard of having a bad energy around you? I mean, I've heard about it, you know. I mean, I get it. I love you, Dolly. Wash your hair in egg whites if it be frizzy. How's an evil eye for protection? No, don't do any of that. That invites demons in. Need to consult Bob Marley. Evil eye. Okay, I've heard of that. Tea or coffee works. Okay, a lot of y'all are damn voodoo wizards, so y'all want to what's the Hogwarts for damn Harry Potter in this room? Okay. Now, back on track. I know we've talked about cars and voodoo curses and the dude that died after he shot his girlfriend and the police, and we talked about Austin Drummond and of course Jaden Spicer, I believe is how you say his name. I want to take a little vote. How many people think this kid will be found? Press 1 in the chat room. If you think this is another Sebastian Rogers, press 2. Okay, 1, this little boy will be found. 2, he's another Sebastian Rogers. Let me know in the chat. Already I'm seeing 2s. Okay, 2, 1. Okay, all right. 2, 2. Another 2. Who said 1? Rose said 1. A lot of 2s. Oh my God. This chat is filled with 2s. Okay. So, you know, when people believe there's foul play involved, these are the cases we kind of get behind. So we will do more digging into this. I'll have PJ look up everything, their life history of what's going on with this child. And, you know, I was just hoping for the best. Like when I first heard it, I was thinking, okay, there's a possibility he could have ran away. And then when I heard about the mama writing the letter today, I looked at PJ and I was like, nah, that ain't how things operate. That is the first red flag that I see. Okay. Now, I don't know if there's more red flags. Like I said, I just knew he was missing. I don't know a lot of the circumstances behind it. I don't know who his family is. I don't know nothing about his family. We haven't got that far yet here. Okay. Because we were covering other things. And like I said, we've been super busy around the house. But of course I will dig into it. Once I start seeing red flags, that really is what starts it for me. Okay. And in every case of something bad, I always see those red flags. Now, if it's just one red flag, right? Sometimes I can give you one red flag. But when other red flags start popping up along with it, and I don't know if there is, like I said, I'll know more when we dig into it. That's when I can't give it to you anymore. That's when we pick up the heat on trying to put the pressure on people on the case. You know, I notice there's a few channels covering it, and I'm sure they're covering it because they believe there's foul play, or, you know, they just cover missing people. So, no trust in people. Crack an egg in boiling or room temperature water. Was CPS involved? That I don't know. So, like I said, I'll have my PI dig into it, and, you know, we'll do a more extensive review on what's going on in this case. All I know is EquiSearch is searching for the boy. It's been 2 days. All right. He hasn't been found. And at 10 years old, could he survive 2 days? Yeah, he could survive 2 days. How long could he survive out there by himself in a rural area? Man, I don't know. Is he lost in the woods? Is this a case where he maybe did run out? But you would think, just like Jack and Lily, you would think the parents would be, if my kid was lost in the woods with an egg, I'd be out there looking for her and the egg every day. I would be asking you guys to come help me. And if we don't see that, then that becomes the second red flag. The first huge red flag for me is this letter and not wanting to share your identity with people. If you're hiding, there's a reason you're hiding. I think it's good that she did at least write a letter. Let's not, be honest. Like, at least she wrote a letter. Some of these parents didn't do that. So you think this is a Joe Dirt situation, man? I hope that ain't the case. He's a pretty little boy. They could have gave him to me, 10 years old. I'd take a 10-year-old, right? That I ain't got to change diapers. He could get all the cool toys. Me, I'm a big kid. This kid would have racetracks, damn, every WWF wrestling figure that they got. He'd probably have a fucking bed that is a wrestling ring. It would be like he would have all the cool stuff, right? Because I would want to play with it. Skateboards, dirt bikes, four-wheelers. So why would you get rid of a kid that other people would love to have? So I don't get it. I just don't get it. I had a daughter. She wanted Hannah Montana stuff and Dora the Explorer and damn Lilo and Stitch. Nothing cool, right? I can't remember one time for Christmas she's like, I want something cool that I wanted to play with. Not once, right? So, and I know there's a lot of people out there that would take this boy in. You got 2 daughters? See, you know what I'm talking about then. You don't get to play with no cool shit, right? And if you go buy a racetrack for yourself, people look at you like you're crazy, right? If I'm sitting there, but PJ would be like, what the hell are you doing? But if I had a son, then I could be like, well, I bought this for him. And then she'd be like, well, why are you playing with it? Because I'm just showing him how, okay? I'll be in there playing with little action figures and shit. You don't never want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I came from the Toys R Us era, okay? Where the whole logo was, I don't never want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. So I believe that. I still to this day say, hey, you want to send me something that makes me happy? Send me something I can play with. I don't care what it is. If you can play with it, I will enjoy it. I can tell you that. And me too. Well, there's a lot of us that are big kids, like, I don't think you want to lose that. I think the kid in you is the spark, and that's what and that's what separates me from people in true crime. I guess that's why I'm too controversial to them, is because I'm not serious, right? I'm not really serious acting. Even though the things I talk about are serious and I'm passionate about it, I want these kids found. I play and joke a lot, and that's the kid in me. And but I want that kid to stay forever. Right? I don't want to lose like Mr. Deeds. What would a young version of me think about the older version of me? I'm almost the same person that I was when I was a kid, just with adult responsibilities. At 70, Toys R Us kid. Okay. American Doll. All my sons wanted at the age was a pogo stick. A pogo stick? I would probably hurt myself on a damn pogo stick. Okay. Thank God. Thank God. I'd probably be hurt if I had a son, right? A pogo stick. I don't know if I could do the whole pogo stick. You worked at Toys R Us? They closed them down, and now I think they have like maybe 1 or 2 of them left in the country, and mostly it's online now. You 50 like me and a Toys R Us kid? I love pogo stick. Okay, I ain't never been that. I'm kind of clumsy. I don't know if I could do the pogo stick thing. I still want a Furby. Okay, them damn little Satanist little dolls. I remember the Furbies because my mom wanted one. I don't know why she wanted one. But I got her one for Christmas one year when they were hard. They were real hard to get. I think that's why she wanted it, because it was just like impossible to get. And then I was in a Toys R Us, and they had just put them out, and I grabbed one. So I ended up getting her a Furby. And then, like, you teach them to talk or some shit. I don't know. I remember those. No, them Lamaboo things are creepy. Lababoo. You talking about them little devil dolls? Yeah, them things are weird looking. Apparently they're Japanese and they're really expensive. Just join, can you recap? Yeah, don't crack an egg. All right, because that's voodoo stuff. Sean Boykin, the guy that shot his girlfriend and shot 2 police officers here in Chesapeake, he was arrested this morning. They took him to the hospital and he died. He had a medical emergency and he died. All right, that was one thing. We discussed Austin Drummond. He basically pled not guilty. What a lawyer put in a not guilty plea for him. He got no bond. He has court the 14th. All right. He asked, could he have a fast and speedy trial? That was the second thing we talked about. Jaden Spicer, missing, 10-year-old. Jackson, Kentucky. Kind of like Sebastian Rogers, went missing. Last people to see him was his family. His mother wrote a letter to the media, but didn't do any media coverage, which is strange. We talked a little bit about voodoo. We told some jail stories. All right. We talked about cars. Right. And now we're just here. I'm just kind of hanging, but I'm going to get ready to get out of here because I kind of brought y'all the news. I want it kind of turned into a little bit of a hangout session. We talked about toys and kids and people not wanting their kids. Like I said, I just don't get it. And usually Sebastian 2.0, it's the people that supposed to love you and take care of you are the ones that end up hurting you. But if you're anywhere in the Kentucky area, be on the lookout for this kid here. He's missing. He's 10-year-old Jaden Spicer. And people are already saying his mother has a violent criminal record. I don't know. We haven't looked into that yet. Circumstances around him missing are a little strange, but you know, at that age, you are old enough to get up and walk out the door. So I don't know. Did you hear anything about Summer Wells' case and an arrest? No. Matter of fact, Nutty Jody Sue Brown, all right, that lady's a crackpot, posted a video today about me, and it's just me talking about Summer Wells. And then she's like tragedy pimp or some shit. That lady is on more drugs than they dropped into that prison. Okay, like what kooky ass people. That's why I kind of shied away from the Summer Wells stuff. It's because everybody involved in that case is an absolute idiot. They are the craziest people. Like I'm talking about Looney Tune crazy. Like no wonder they never found Summer Wells. No wonder. Everybody around there is they're eating fucking Fruity Pebbles. I mean, it's insane. Like the last time I talked to Jody Sue Brown, she called me wanting me to help her look for Summer Wells. I haven't talked to her now. She's posting videos about me being a tragedy pimp and shit. Like, lady, you are nuts. Like, put down the whatever pipe you smoking out of, because something is wrong with your skull. Right? And she talks so dreadfully slow. She's worse than the dude with the monkey. Like, can you imagine them having a conversation? Hey, it would be horrible. It's the slowest shit. I don't have all day. Get to the damn point. But you just talk too slow. My brain don't work that slow. Like, I feel like I'm going in reverse listening to these people. Like, good Lord. The slowest talking ass people. And I know the one dude from West Virginia, but damn, okay, could you pick up the pace a little bit? I got shit to do. I don't know how people listen to that slow ass shit. I'm from the South. You know, people in the South talk slow, but not that dreadfully. Like, I'd rather beat my head on a brick wall than have to listen to one of those people. I swear to you. Reminds me of Squidbillies. I mean, just damn. Going in reverse. I'm just saying. I feel like if it takes you 30 minutes to say 3 sentences, yeah, I ain't got time for this shit. Like, I ain't even into true crime that much. You know, so I'll go watch some UFC shit. I got my brain operates a whole lot faster than that. Are people really that slow? Like that slow? Their brain operates that damn slow. I can't even slow down that much. Like drink some coffee. Like 4 cups before you start your live stream. Something. I don't know what kind of advice to give you, but damn. Spend some time and learn how to talk faster and less on putting on makeup. Okay? Hair plugs. Just learn how to talk first. All right? Just speed that shit up. Can you imagine how slow they drive? Can you imagine having that dude in front of you in a car? Like you trying to get, that's why traffic's always backed up. Slow ass people like that. It's just like, good Lord, get it moving. Listen, it's bad when you got to put the video on like fucking 2, you know, on the speed and you still slow. Like, damn, it's still slow. Like, you don't even sound normal yet. You listen to them on 2 times. Well, you better turn that shit up a little bit. Even 2 times don't work for me. I'm like, this shit is slow-mo. He need to change this shit to fucking slow-mo media. Just ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, if you got the whole day free, then yeah, more power to you. Then listen to whatever you want to. But if you ain't got the whole day free, like, good Lord. 1K, thank you. I'll fall asleep off and listen. I'm motherfucking bore you to death. Like you be sleeping like Brittany J. Okay, the internet, man, the internet is crazy. No, I'm not trying to pick on nobody. I'm just saying in general, some of these people are LD. Okay, it's just LD. Like, damn, your brain, you running on like fucking AOL. You know, we done moved up to high speed internet. Y'all still fucking, you know, when they tune in, their brain makes that noise when you used to have dial up. You know, like. He said it's because of Lyme disease. That's just because of LD. That shit because he's dumb as hell. It's your brain don't work. That shit ain't no Lyme disease. Is that why he's jaundiced? Is that why? Is that why? Lyme disease. Oh, good Lord. I've heard it all. That's just too good. You can't even make that up. Yeah, I talk slow because of Lyme disease. How does he say it? Lyme disease. You gotta get info on the case. Don't hate. He may have if you got 3 days to listen to it. You know that shit is slow. Listen, when you say something that's true, that ain't picking on somebody. Okay. Dreadfully slow. I'm sure Lyme disease is bad. Listen, I'm not trying to knock people with Lyme disease. If you got Lyme disease, I hope everything's good. I know it's bad on your joints. It makes your muscles sore. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, also Lyme, I think he has Lyme disease, not Lyme disease. I think you're mixing the two up. He probably, you know, he's probably being honest and said, I got Lyme disease. And y'all took it as Lyme disease. 2 different things, okay? Lyme disease is when you lie about your name, your hair plugs, who you married to. Do you look like a corpse or not? That's Lyme disease. That's not Lyme disease. 2 different diseases, okay? The person y'all are watching has Lyme disease, okay? Because he just lies. the only person ever in the history that they had to pull off a Nancy Grace. Everybody's like, nah, they're editing it, Dolly. I was like, okay, if you say so. The man got up there, lied about his name. He always lies and says he's married to a doctor. Not married to a doctor. So don't mistake Lyme disease with Lyme disease. All right. I would never disrespect anybody that has something that is, ill in their body, or, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Lyme disease, like lying to Aunt Nancy. Absolutely. Okay. And, overlaying the pictures and the Collie Rodney dead body, freeze framing everything till you get the one shot of her dead in the vehicle. It's just worrying about Sebastian Rogers' private parts. There's a whole lot of the disgusting ass lying things. But, listen to who you want to. If it entertains you, sub them up. I don't care. It don't affect me none, I just trip on that people believe what he says. Like when you just lying and lying and lying. So legend, I'll go live Saturday night. It certainly doesn't help the cases. No, not at all. Right? Listen, there's room for everybody on YouTube. I don't hate the guy. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things he does, I don't approve of, but I'm sure there's things I do that people don't approve of either. Right? It's just like, I don't know. I'm just a real person. And when I see people that are not being truthful or just purposely lying and they act like they're really good people. Like I say, I don't try to act like I'm a really good person, right? I'm somebody that I F up all the time. I'm a big old idiot. But I try to be better, but when I see people that act like they're better than you, or they're just goody, and it just makes me sick. It truly does. I'm like, look at this fake ass person, and I can't help it. Like PJ tells me all the time, don't talk about people. It's not a good look, because people may like that guy and then they'll hold grudges against you and stuff like that. But I have to speak my mind, right? When you put a mic in front of me, I'm going to say what's in my brain of what I think about things. And I'm a real person. You're going to get real stuff when you come here. It just is what it is. You are original. I don't know if I'm original. I'm old, partly ugly, but original sounds good to me. We go with original. That works for me. If that works for you guys, I'm good with original. But I worked hard to be this ugly. Okay. I worked 40 years to be this ugly, right? I earned it. But anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. Y'all stay blessed. And, like I said, I don't want to be sounding like a big meanie or a bully, or I'm just picking on somebody. So I hope everybody has a great life, even the people that talk in slow mo, even these Looney Tunes that are just dreadfully slow. I hope nothing but the best for them. I don't wish harm on any single soul on this planet. So I hope everybody has the best life, and whatever it is, it is. But I mean, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you. But like I said, I don't hate anybody. I don't go to sleep disliking people or mad at people or anything like that. A lot of what I say about people is partly comedy, but in every joke, there's a little bit of truth. And some of these people get mad that I joke, but because they know there's a little truth in those jokes, but everything ain't, I always tell mostly the truth. You know what I'm saying? Mostly, I guess is the word. Mostly the truth. Sometimes I might get something wrong by mistake, but for the most part, I tell it how it is. You guys be good. Have a great night. I'll see y'all. I don't even know. I got to get up early. I got a bunch of stuff to take care of tomorrow. I've been like super busy the last 3 days, And but my sleep schedule is so off. Like I know I'm going to go sit in there. I'm going to watch 15 shows a damn Wednesday on Netflix, and I'm going to be dragging ass tomorrow. So I got to get my schedule back right. I'm neutral, Dolly. I've watched you 8 years. That's fine. Listen, I'm not telling nobody not to watch them people. Okay. You can listen. I don't own nobody up here, right? You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can watch whoever you want to watch. I don't control nobody. I don't try to, right? Because the same thing about me. Nobody can tell me what to do. I don't listen to shit, right? So I don't expect you guys to either. We all grown. Do whatever the hell you want to do in this world. Live your best life. You know, I've got a microphone so I can talk. It don't mean you got to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? You guys be good. Stay awesome. And like I said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.